Good morning again, everyone. So, welcome, and this is our match two for today of the Four Queens PC30 tournament. And of course, we had my co host for the first two matches, Robyn Salimo again. Welcome, Robyn. And of course, now we continue with the matches, and we saw an interesting result. The previous game, it was a draw between Lauren and Khadija, but Lauren was winning for a long time, but Khadija held on, and at the end, Khadija was the one pressing in a normal chess position. Here's the final position. You see where it actually is just two kings on the board. So the first draw of the tournament. Welcome to uh, WIM Jesse February, and welcome to Robyn van Niekerk.
So,
Thanks for having us.
Great stuff. Thanks for being on the show, guys. It's I must say, Robyn, when I think about the tournament that the guys played previously, it wasn't the online one, but comparing the ladies' games to that tournament, I think this is just like just flames. It's vicious on the board here. The ladies are not holding back. I mean, it is really difficult to get a grip of what's happening on the board because everybody's just going for your throat, basically.
Yeah, I think I saw a study a while back which showed that women were much more sharper tactically than men.
It could be true. Maybe in my case, it could be very true.
Did you guys see the article that was written on Lee Chess?
Which one?
Okay, I can also share it later, but
Okay.
it speaks about women in chess and some facts, some opinions. It enrages some as well.
It's Robyn, it sounds like we need to prepare ourselves. We need to prepare ourselves.
I mean, if you really check like even if it took the top 10 women, like tactically their games, they're very sharp.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of tactics. We've seen a lot of sharpness. I mean, like I said, compared to the guys that I've seen play. So I'm looking forward to the next one. Let's generate the position for Jesse and Robyn. I think this was maybe the game that we had. So we're gonna no, it isn't the game that we had, Robyn. But in any event, I'm gonna switch this because we've seen this two dragon bishops next to the king a couple of times. So we'll just skip this one. And if the ladies can just confirm if you have played this or not. Hopefully nobody has played this before. Is that fine?
yes.
Okay, right. Okay, so there we have it. That's our position. For the second deal between Jesse and Robyn. So Jesse's got the white pieces, Robyn has got the black pieces. And yeah, so the two of you can now mute your computers. And you can start as soon as you're ready.
Okay.
So just to the viewers out there, I will update the previous result. Like I said, it was a draw between Lauren and Khadija. So Lauren is on 3.5 points and Khadija is on 1.5. So with 2 more matches to go, Lauren still has quite a nice lead. I think this is going to be this result, Robyn, is going to be an important one for both of these players to still have to stay in contention, basically.
Yeah, the last, if you take Lauren out, it's open season, right?
Yes. So all to play for. First prize is of course 5,000 rand. Second prize is 4,000. Third prize is 3,000, and fourth prize is 2,000 rand. So a lot to play for. And we see a Vienna on the board.
Yes.
So e4, e5, knight c3. So again, I kind of like the knight on e3, Robyn. Like the knight on e3 is so flexible. I can imagine the knight going to e3 square because then the d5 square and the f5 square is an issue. So I can already, if I was black, I would imagine placing my pawns on c6 and g6. I don't know if you have enough time for everything, but I would fianchetto my queen if I would want to castle short. Maybe so c6 on the board.
I thought actually that white would start with dragon bishop to f3.
Dragon bishop to f3, hitting e5?
Attacking e5, and then at least it makes a lot of sense.
Yes, okay, it does attack the pawn, but again, my feeling is you shouldn't get your dragon bishops out too early because they can be a target, just like the queen. But I mean, it's not that exposed on a3. I think it is possible, yes. that could be a way to go. Especially if white was maybe considering long castling, then that is actually not a bad idea.
I
Or to
like this
d3.
D3 idea with the idea of playing F4.
Yes, so just continuing in this Vienna style. Knight to
Yeah, yeah.
d2. Knight to d2 played. What's the
Just
idea?
preventing F4. Oh, but I hate this move.
Yeah, knight d2. I don't know. Maybe Jesse wants to go knight f3 next.
Yeah, she's trying to set up a position she's familiar with.
Yeah, no, the knights on the traditional square c3 and f3.
Yeah. I can understand that.
So, I mean, black has options. Black can play d5 immediately, but I would hold back on that. I would probably develop
No,
probably
play
knight
D5.
e6.
You can play D5 because of the bishop would protect. Huh?
Yes, so
There's
d5 is on the board. d5 is on the board. Like I said, I would probably not develop immediately, but that's, I mean, sometimes I think I'm just too conservative for my own good, Ruben. So,
yeah, no, I think because white is wasting time, it makes a lot of sense that black is
yeah,
trying to
just capitalize on that. Yeah. So, knight f3 on the board. Welcome to Nivrock 01. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the show. So, we're looking at match 2 of today. We have 6 matches for the day. The schedule is identical to yesterday's one. If you missed yesterday, you can also check out on Twitch. We've got the other 6 matches of yesterday. It's a double round robin, so everybody plays everybody twice. This is the second deal between Jesse and Robyn. So yeah, but still lots and lots of exciting matches coming up, and I mean. Let's see what the Nivrock says. Nice to see fellow South Africans playing chess. Yes, of course. And a very special type of chess. It's PC30, so we have dragon bishops on the board that move like bishops and like Zhangi horses. Just don't hesitate to ask more questions about the game, guys, if you're unfamiliar. Pawn to f6 on the board, Ruben. Diamond formation, it seems like.
waiting the queen. Queen f7, knight g6, and then maybe short castling for me.
Yes.
Now,
This.
Jesse has been smart in terms of how she has developed.
Yeah.
She could play queen f1, queen e2, I guess, in this position. But that's not really nice. She took on d5 whilst we were away. And
and then a4. So, Jesse, maybe threatening knight b5?
Yeah, but okay, what's the point?
Knight b5, the dragon moves, and well, okay, we saw in the previous, I think last night, or yesterday afternoon, we saw Jesse and Khadija with a very tense battle where Jesse was, it seemed like her knights were bouncing around too much. It seemed like Jesse was on the edge a lot of times, but she made it work with her knights. So it seems like she wants to do this again, maybe utilize her knights. So it seems like she's enjoying using her knights.
A4 cannot be right because she's trying to attack, but she's only got those knights. The other pieces are completely...
Yeah.
And I like the way Robyn has set up pawns in the center. You can't really activate your pieces. Knight b5 is just a waste of time.
And Robyn has just developed a knight as well, just casually continuing her development.
Yeah, no. And it's, I think it's the correct idea. Development is on point. I think I want a queen in the game and the knight somewhere.
Yeah, that looks nice. Ruben, I've got a question for you here from the chat box. Maybe you can also help. Nivrock that just joined us here is asking, where can one connect and play with fellow SA players? Struggling to find online groups. I'm sure you have some ideas.
There's a league chess group called Chess Hub SA. I think they are organizing 3 tournaments a week or something like that.
Yes.
And there's always players playing, and you get a chance to play some GMs also there.
Yes.
And some masters.
Yes, I've seen some tournaments being advertised, and I've also spoken to I believe the owner of Chess Hub, and it seems like they're doing a lot, Ruben. And
they're
doing a lot, and you can even go on their website, Chess Hub.
Exactly, yeah. That's what I was going to say.
There's a lot of information.
Yeah. I really, You know what we were talking about? The idea of getting people to work together a lot.
Yeah.
I think Chess Hub is accomplishing that.
Yeah, so maybe that's the first place you should look, Navrok. Can you give is it just chesshub.co.za or what is it, Ruben? Yeah. You can even just Google Chesshub. So there you have it. And of course, you can also join various platforms. By the way, if you look at the bottom of the screen, you can also like the Paradigm Chess page
Yeah.
on Facebook to get more information about this variant and stay up to date. But also on Facebook, there's different platforms like SA Chess Players, if you are referring to SA Chess. And there's also groups on Lee Chess. I'm not sure from what area you are in Navrok, but there's different areas, different regional groups. You can basically join all of them if you want to. But there's the Western Cape group and Gauteng groups and so on. So you can just navigate your way through over there. But Chess Hub is a good way to go. Thanks to Kurt Dale for following. Welcome to the show. What's happening on the board, Ruben?
This Dragon Bishop to E3 was played.
Ooh.
I'm wondering if it's correct because D4, Knight B5.
Pawn to D4, maybe. Yeah, Knight D5 or even Dragon to D5, eh? Because Dragon to D5 would hit the dragon on C7 and the queen on G8. So maybe that's the point, because the dragon on C7 cannot jump over the knight on C6 to attack D5.
So you have to play Bishop E6.
Yeah. Dragon E6 would probably be a solid continuation.
Dragon Bishop to E6 is actually very good because, yeah, it's a good move.
Yeah, Dragon E6 played. Robyn playing very solid, very traditional looking setup. I'm sure the same-ish players would be quite happy with her right now. With that structure. At the beginning with the pawn on C6, I was going to actually say that. Do you know what that line is called against the Caro-Kann with that structure?
Fantasy.
Yes. And so like the name alone just entices me. The fantasy variation. So yeah, Knight B5 on the board. Dragon A5 check.
Okay, I would have thought to B8.
Just to drop back and maybe just play A6 afterwards.
And keep an eye on D6 because I think...
D6 square is a bit soft, yes.
This could be a problem actually because now...
So let's say white just plays C3.
White can even play B4. And then... No.
B4 is just hangs. Say C3.
No, I was thinking B4 because you draw the bishop away.
And then C3 afterwards.
Yeah, and then pawn C3.
But the problem is then dragon takes on D3 check.
I
and
see.
then king D2, again, white is hunting for the tempo. And that might be an issue. But still, is the knight on D6 check gonna be that horrifying? Let's say white plays C3. Can't black just go knight D7, for instance?
Knight what?
Knight to D7.
But then how do you do with knight D6 check?
Knight D6 check, king E7.
Then takes on B7. Oh, the bishop actually protects.
The bishop is protecting, yes. But you could play B4 after check. No, but then we take on B4 twice with check and then the knight on D6.
Okay, now listen to this. So you go C3 and you said what's the move?
So C3, knight to D7?
Knight D7. Oh, okay. Covering C5.
Yeah, that's the. I know knight G6 is another idea, but then the C5 square is open, yeah.
Okay, so you just go C3, knight D7, and now you just have to look for the next progressive move. Maybe you don't have anything, but definitely. Oh, what about B4?
Yeah, maybe B4, yes. Maybe B4 immediately.
Yo.
I like that, yeah. Maybe but dragon to B8 was much better, just covering everything.
Yeah, and because also when you go to B8, you're going to play A6, and yes, to go backwards, and you're fine.
Yeah. So JC played pawn to C3, and now this is a big moment for Robyn to decide what to do, because this knight D6 can just unravel slightly. So knight D7, pawn to B4. What does black do?
He has to play to D8, right?
D8, and then is the check still worth playing? Maybe black is okay then, because the dragon on d8 will still be covering the b7 pawn.
Can you play long castling shot? Can you play d4 first?
So knight d7, b4.
D4.
Oh, d4 immediately. D4
Yeah,
immediately.
like
And
before.
then maybe pawn to e4.
Yeah. But you get what I'm saying? Like, first of all, let's say d4, pawn takes, a6.
Pawn takes.
No, that doesn't work. Yeah, d4. I don't know. You can't actually play pawn takes because
So
it's pinned.
so what are you proposing? What should black play first?
d4.
Oh, pawn to d4 immediately.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking for white here. Okay. So pawn
No,
to
for black.
d4. Ah. Okay. I guess white will have to retreat.
Yeah.
Maybe dragon d2.
d4 and dragon d2. And then you follow up with a6.
Knight to d. No, after a6, pawn to b4. Or
Bishop
is that
d8.
necessary? Is that necessary?
Drag-
But who is this? Who is it favoring, this d5 opening of the position?
Well,
Because d4,
if
dragon d2.
if black doesn't push white backwards, that knight is an annoying piece.
Yeah, so you just want to isolate that knight and make the knight check, or
Yeah.
not do
You
anything.
want to make those checks irrelevant, like
Yeah.
almost like they trap white on their own side.
Yeah, and I mean, Ruben, again, we see the ladies are having used about 5 minutes. Okay, Robyn has used about 6 minutes. Jesse has used 4, but it's still early. 10 moves have been made, but it's a
Yeah.
huge struggle.
But
Like, it's
yeah, but
intense.
this first part is very key because if you
Yes.
put them in the wrong way, they become difficult to retrace.
So that's actually a theme or a trend in these games. You should take your time in the opening because it's so critical from an early point.
Yeah. Imagine playing this game. It's almost like you're looking at new positions all the time.
Yeah.
Because in our normal chess, we've been seeing these positions for like over 20 years. So
Yes.
we're kind of familiar. Even if you didn't play the line, you've probably seen it somewhere.
Pawn to
But
d4
here-
on the board, by the way.
Yeah, that's a good. I think that is a necessary move.
But yeah, it's different. You need to gain experience, you say.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to. You're looking at it for the first time, and
Yes.
not only that, you've got another piece which is crazy.
Yes. Yeah.
So
I think you see. I think the thing that really makes it difficult, like you said, is the new positions and that combination of, not only is it Fisher random, because Fisher random alone is difficult to grasp with the pieces being jumbled up, but you have this new piece as well. So I suggested yesterday that at some point we should maybe have a tournament where it's just a normal chess position starting point, and then
but with the dragon bishop
but
in
with
there.
the dragon bishops in there, and then maybe some theory will start to develop, and and then it's easier to start holding on to or understanding concepts and ideas, and perhaps the evolution of the game can then start taking its course a bit faster. That's of course if you wanted to take its course faster, because I mean this is also fresh and new and nice. It's nice not to have engines. It's nice to not know what's happening. We're like in the romantic era right now. It's all about attacking and just going for your throat. Maybe 20 years from now we'll know how to defend a bit better, and we'll see more end games and stuff like that. So
Correct. Yeah.
So yeah. So pawn to d4 on the board, Jesse. Now what's options? I would think dragon d2, but is it necessary?
This move. This is the one move that I think you really don't think, because in normal chess, this move would not be necessarily a good move, right?
Yeah. So dragon d2, it was played.
And here maybe now you chess that knight. If going forward is not working, then it's just probably quite a bad position for white.
Yeah, so we can, I guess, just directly calculate a6 if knight d6 check,
King
king
E7.
king e7. What does white do? I mean, at least white can just drop back to e4, and then the knight can get to g3. I don't know. The king on
Well,
e7 can be problematic. Shouldn't can black consider maybe a rook d8?
that's interesting. Yeah.
On the other hand, the d4, white can now take on d4, by the way. There's a lot of pieces looking at
Yeah,
d4.
exactly. Yeah. That's why A6 is very important. That knight should not have been allowed on B5.
Yeah, and black now captures on c3, so yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure why she's resolving tension here.
What should white do? Probably pawn takes, eh?
Do you remember when you learned something about the King's Indian attack and then you learned that you must never push pawns or take pawns in the center?
Yeah.
You know how valuable that lesson is?
Yes, of course.
What's the name? Jesse also makes a fundamental error here.
Yeah, I
She
think
allows these exchanges. Every time she's doing this, it makes it easier for her opponent to play because now she can take on c3 and castle long.
that it is actually possible, yes. And look at the queen on g1. The queen on g1 is desperate to get out.
Exactly, yeah.
The queen on g8 is a bit more comfortable with f7 square available.
E7, yeah.
The dragon takes c3 check. What is Jesse going to recapture with? Probably pawn takes.
Pawn, yeah, because you want to keep that knight active. So, but after pawn takes castles long, I think black has got the initiative.
Castles long does look tempting. You need to be brave to do it though. Just the idea of castling long. But maybe looking at it from a sober point of view, I mean, what can white do to really bother you? Maybe pawn to a5. But does it really do much if it reaches a6? For that moment, you could play b6. You also have a6. And of course, long castling would threaten the pawn on d3.
Okay, now I might ask you something. You are a player pretty much almost like me in terms of the way you play.
Yeah.
When you, with experience, when you look at double-edged positions nowadays, like like the Sicilian where they castle opposite side and attack each other, how do you feel? What's your instant thought whenever you get into those positions? Is it one of fear or it's just another position?
Okay, so I'm gonna give you two answers. First of all, because I think the one it could be where while I'm playing, I think you're suggesting, but also looking at it without playing, just opening up my chess space. And when I open up my chess space and I look at those, I start to feel old. First of all. So of course with this Sicilian opposite side casting is very theoretical, especially with the modern age, computer age. You have to stay up to date. You have to stay up to date with the games. You have to use your engine, the best engine you can, and so on. So it's difficult to stay up to date. But like I told you, I did grow up with Kasparov and his play and so on. So I mean that's the core of his play as well. So it still excites me. It's exciting, but I would say the bulk of my play doesn't consist of that play. Like
exactly. Yeah.
that does not contribute to stability.
Yeah, that's why I was asking that because I know that in your play these kind of questions rarely appear, right?
So I would suggest if you are a player with a lot of energy, with a lot of if you are very strong with calculation, a good feel for the initiative, of course, you must go through a lot of games in those type of in those themes and structures. Then and if you have energy and time to put in, then it's a good idea. It's high risk, but it can also give you a lot of reward. So but yeah, for me, I would be upset, Ruben, if I lose a game in such an opening, when I could play something a bit more stable.
But even as volatile as it is, you see a player who likes those positions like what he never plays those positions.
He never plays those positions. Yeah, he doesn't go for that. He rather goes for maybe something else to his style. Oh, you mean for the black pieces? Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah. I've had that discussion with Watu already about E5 and so on. It's interesting. I mean, I'm telling you, I like stability, but I don't play E5.
Exactly. Yeah.
so, so e5 is so classical, but of course e5. I think in chess, the thing that also makes chess very, people say it's unfair, but also fair. I mean, it's also like life. There's no easy way out. Like if every opening
Yes.
has their
It's challenging.
dangers. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what I like about chess as well. But I mean e5, I've played it on occasion, just here and there. But there's so many landmines.
You have to know what you're doing.
Oof. If I knew my opponent was playing that, I Lopez every time, Ruben, against my e5. I'm diving in. I'm loving the theory. I'm loving the classic nature of it. But now I'm playing a lower rated guy, and this guy is throwing the Vienna at me, or he's throwing the Scotch Gambit, or he's throwing the Evans Gambit. And you need to be up to date with these type of things. So,
Yeah.
so.
We've got long castling on the board.
Aha, long castling, and then what did White play? She played Queen
Queen
F1. So
F1.
Jessie needed to get the queen in. She protected D3, A6 on the
Yeah, and
board.
this was the thing. It's like, I mean, any nonsense move was here. I think it's a critical moment, and I think most players, like are not aware of these concepts. As a critical moment, yeah, this is a turning point for Jessie. She needed to find a better move than Queen F1. Queen F1 actually, I think, is too slow.
Yeah, it's slow, but I mean, it's difficult for any event. I think she's in a difficult position. But you're right, this is critical. I'm sensing it, and it's so critical the way I'm actually considering for White leaving the knight on b4. I'm thinking about dragon to e3, just saying
Exactly.
take on b5,
Something like
I
that,
take
yeah.
on b5, open up the rook a8 check is a possibility.
I think that's her only hope,
Yeah.
that move, because now if she goes knight a3, there's bishop f5, that dragon bishop to f5,
And
and
then
if she goes, let's say, bishop e2, there's queen b3.
yes, and she plays knight a3, so I think this is gonna give Robyn the initiative. She must just look for it now. Bishop f5, dragon f5 does look very nice. Another move that is more natural would probably be knight d7 or knight g6, because imagine if black had two moves, knight d7 and knight c5. I think the game is basically over. So the question is, does black have enough time to do this, or should black go immediately? Dragon f5 immediately. What does white do? Dragon e2, and you said queen b3.
Yeah, queen b3
Yeah,
would
it
be
does look
just
devastating.
right?
It does
And
look
then
devastating.
if she goes dragon c2, then after dragon f5, then there is the move queen d5, and this is probably lost already.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. White. Yeah. White doesn't really have anything. I was gonna say maybe knight c4, but even the knight can't do anything alone. So dragon to c5 instead, still threatening the same thing. Is this an improvement?
Oh, that's interesting.
So using the dragons.
See how differently we kind of think.
Yeah, no, we're just thinking. Robyn is thinking dragon c5. We thinking bishop f5. We're thinking bishop f5. Yeah. So interesting stuff. I don't know if you saw yesterday, Ruben. Lauren had a nice finishing tactic with a dragon against Robyn, where she played dragon to c5.
Was that the game you were mentioning where she won with two bishops? Two dragon bishops.
No, that's a different one where that Robyn checkmated. But I'm talking about Lauren that beat Robyn. And then imagine the king. Robyn has just castled short. The king is on g1.
Yeah.
And her queen is on a4. And then Lauren played the dragon to c5, check, and hitting the queen on a4. And that was immediately over. So there's devastating dragon tactics. Dragon to c2 played by Jessie, covering d3. And how to continue now? You said queen d5 is surely one of the main candidates here.
Mind you, I was thinking with the dragon bishop on f5, but even here it's better because now taking on d3 is check.
Yes.
And you get into our basic, ending where it's normal chess.
Yes.
Because the dragon bishops will be off the board.
Yes. And that could cause a lot of it could help for the side that's winning with the simplifications. Queen d5 is on the board. So Ruben, you've spotted it. Dragon takes d3 is the huge threat.
Yeah.
Okay.
And, you know, it's very hard to play king d2 here because e4.
Yeah. But white has rook d1 though.
Okay.
Rook
But
d1,
then
the dragon is covering the a3 knight.
don't
So
you have then if rook d2, rook d1, queen a2?
queen a2. Yes, hitting the knight. I like that. White could then play rook a1 again.
But then queen b2 is
Yeah,
winning,
queen
right?
b2 just eyeballing everyone, basically.
But this kind of play kind of is
Oh, you know,
your Alekhine type attacks, right?
yes, you know what, Ruben, what I spotted? Imagine, look at this line. So rook
Yeah.
d1, queen a2, rook a1, queen takes dragon on c2, knight takes c2, and then dragon takes d3, check, and hitting the queen.
Ooh.
So that would at least pick you up a pawn, I think, in the whole
So he
combo.
goes knight c5,
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
protect. Oh, there's knight b6 check.
And the knight now blocks the dragon bishop on c5. The dragon cannot take on d3. Cool move
Now
there by Jesse.
these dynamics are very tricky to see.
Yes.
But now, can he go e4?
Pawn to e4. I take.
Oh, because
Queen on f1 is still protecting c4.
queen on f1 is still protecting, yeah?
And Robyn is almost down to 3 minutes, so it's getting to a critical stage. Jesse would like to consolidate with queen e2 and short castle, then it's a whole new game. I think knight c4 is a very nice move.
Knight e6 is needed. Knight e6, knight f4.
Knight e6, yeah, because then there's no queen e2 because of knight f4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like knight e6, just completing development and threatening knight f4. Okay, black should also just keep an eye on that b6 square. Jesse could be threatening a5 as well, but maybe we can sidestep it with king b8.
You know what happens when your time gets low like this?
Yeah,
you start going double checking your lines.
yes. So you start using more time and you start getting more nervous, and that's where the blunders happen. I mean, we saw it now earlier with Lauren as well. So
Jess is definitely not happy with her position.
Yeah. So let's imagine knight e6. I have some candidate moves. White can't even play g3 there because the knight on f3 would be hanging. Knight e6 is on the board. Can white afford to just go a5 here and at least try a threat? Or what else can white play here?
I'll be prepared to give up my dragon bishop.
Yeah?
Oh,
for black, you mean?
Yeah, for black. If I can get more progress in.
Yeah, so let's say a5. Let's say black goes knight f4 anyway.
Yeah. And then you go check. I just remove that knight.
So I like that idea.
Because you have these moves like queen c5 at some point, which would attack c3 and attack b6.
Yeah, I think maybe the huge problem for white is a king. a5 is on the board, by the way. So Robyn would like to capitalize and move in quickly on the white king. Jesse is saying she's threatening knight b6, and then the dragon bishop will have to give itself up for the knight. Knight f4, I like Ruben's move. But after knight f4, rook d1. What then? Are we going to be forced to play king b8 at some point?
What about if you play knight f4, rook d1?
Yeah.
And you play knight d3 check.
Rook takes rook takes d3, then you have queen c4, eh? No,
Yes,
queen c4, then rook takes d8 check, and your queen is hanging.
Oh, yeah, hanging.
Yeah.
No, but okay. What about when you go knight d3? So we're saying knight f4.
Rook d1.
Rook d1. Then we take knight takes d3 check.
Rook takes d3.
Then, dragon bishop cannot check.
It can't move yet. So, I mean, with all of this, with Robyn having a nice position, perhaps she should just consider playing the sober king b8. I mean, knight b6, you go somewhere. Even, I mean, knight b6, after king b8, knight b6, you go dragon takes d3 check. You don't even need to move your queen yet.
Yeah.
So king b8 looks like the move. Knight f4 played though. So she says, okay, she's ready to give out the dragon bishop. I like rook d1 here for white. But I guess black can still just go king b8. I think Robyn should just not panic now. She's got 34 seconds.
No,
She should
listen.
make a few moves.
After rook d1, you just play rook e8, the one on h.
Yes. And then knight b6 check.
You just eliminate your bishop and your next move
Takes.
e4.
E4.
Yeah.
Ooh. And then takes on e4.
Rook takes with
Rook
check.
takes e4. Dragon takes e4. Queen takes e4. And it's going to be mate.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, nice. I think, Robyn, you should play in the next event.
No.
I mean,
Easy
you...
to spectate.
I mean, you're seeing all the attacking lines here, and this is what the game is all about. And I hope the viewers out there is also noticing. This is what I think the creators of the game was going for, just promoting sharpness, more excitement on the board. I mean, the classical game chess, a lot of people have been frustrated with the amount of draws and the exhaustion of theory and so on. So at least,
I mean, if you think about it, it's like putting Craig and Lorenzo together to create a game. It will be an attacking game.
definitely. So that's what they cooked up. And pawn to d4 on the board.
Yeah, but this move doesn't work, I think.
Because the e-file, I mean, Jesse's inviting the file on the e-file to be opened up. So rook e8 is coming with tempo.
White was being checkmated without this assistance of opening the file.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm not sure about that. I don't know what White's idea was. Yeah, I actually can't find a move for White now.
Yeah, I mean, this was just a mistake. Funny enough, Jessie was very uncomfortable with her position way before this. But I think she still had defensive resources. It's just a lot. But also in positions like this, you start seeing your opponent's threats more than your opportunities.
Yeah. And in this game, the snowball effect is so hard on you, because initiative is just is very heavy. So yeah, I think Jesse is gonna take a time now just to see if there's any hope here. It's difficult. Should White long castle? There's only way to get the king out of fire for the moment. Long castle, I mean, you can't play dragon a3 check yet, so I think maybe.
No, you can. You can play dragon a3. You can play queen takes c4, queen takes c4, then dragon a3 check.
Dragon takes dragon on a3. c2 dragon is covering a3.
Oh.
Yeah. So for the moment, it seems like that's the safest route for White.
Yeah, it looks like.
Long castle, threaten knight b6 check. And you're in the game at least. Okay, takes on d4, rook e8 check, knight to e3. But that's just a pin, so we can just continue taking on d4.
Yeah, no, this is bad.
So rook e8, I think Robyn shouldn't think too much on this. Okay, 15 seconds increment is there, but... And there it gets played. Robyn, you should just note, I told everyone yesterday, the increment is a bit weird for our test run here on this link that we're playing. So the 15 seconds kicks in after it's your turn again. So once it's again Robyn's turn, then the 15 seconds gets added. Welcome to Grey Old Wizard. That's of course Mr. Chess Hub himself. So we were talking about where to go to if you want to see fellow South Africans play. So yeah, good to see you, Grey Old Wizard. Okay, and Jesse is in trouble. Yes, he's got 2 minutes on the clock, but I don't think the time is a big factor right now. Maybe only for Robyn. She needs to keep the tempo.
I think it was, what was it? Was it Nivrok01 who was asking about
Yes,
ways could get connected to South African chess scene?
exactly. Yes,
The old wizard is the owner of Chess Hub, which we were talking about earlier.
yes.
He can supply some info, maybe a link to your website, Greyord.
Yeah, let me just make sure my Nightbot is not blocking links. It should be okay. I'm still
Do
getting
you have
used to.
some naughty people posting posts?
No, actually, this was just the standard stuff that it came out with. I haven't been playing around. Okay, I disabled it. Yeah, it's a good thing I checked. So yeah, Grail Wizard, you can feel free to post your link. The people were asking where to get more info about SA chess, how to connect with SA players. So yeah, no, this Nightbot sometimes slaps my viewers on the hand without my consent. So
Now,
dragon to e3.
now knight takes d4.
Huh? Knight takes d4 is on the board. And welcome to Roland as well. Roland says king safety is critical in dragon chess. Yes. Jesse is staring down the barrel here. Knight c2 check. Knight c2 might is threatened.
So you have to play rook c1 here.
Rook c1, yes, with some hope there with the king on c8. Yeah, knight b6 would be a very dangerous threat actually. So rook c1 definitely. But don't we just have knight d3 check and then queen takes d3, knight takes f3 check?
Oh, yeah.
But remember, yeah, okay, and the dragon is still pinned on e3, so it won't be that devastating yet. So I think that would be over basically. Thanks, Greyold, for posting your link over there. Knight b6 check is played, so I think dragon takes b6 and then knight c2 mate.
Oh, yeah.
Robyn dives in and plays dragon takes b6. Jesse recaptures. Is knight c2 mate? It seems like it. And knight c2 mate is on the board. Well done, Robyn. Tough one there for
such a
Jesse.
beautiful game.
Yes. So let's just get the players on.
Well played. This was a beautiful
played.
game.
Okay, can both of you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, the exciting game. Well done, Robyn, on your second victory. Tough one, Jesse. Ruben, I'm gonna hand it over to you. You can start asking the questions.
Yeah, I mean, exciting game, first of all. Well done. There was a lot of exciting moments in this position, but I think we were surprised that you started your attack without getting the other pieces out, Jesse. Like once your knights were out, you were like a4, knight b5. And I feel like that's where kind of most of your problems started. And I think not taking advantage of when Robyn played bishop a5 check.
I should have played before.
Yeah, I think you that's because your knight was very active. It was critical that that was the only moment, I think. And Robyn, your move, queen a5 check, I think created a bit of problems for you. But anyway, I was just curious for you. It's worked for you, obviously. Were you trying to get back to your normal position with your knights, like almost like a Vienna for Jesse?
Oh yes, I wanted to put my knight on c3 and the other knight on f3, and it didn't work out that way. But I wanted to try and get as close to a normal position as possible. I thought that was a good strat. But then I realized, okay, in the previous games, I was pretty ambitious when it came to attacking without developing my pieces. And I just kept doing it again. So I need to fix that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I figured it worked before, so you're probably trying to do it again.
Yeah, just a note, yeah, maybe from my side, Ruben, that yeah, it seemed like you're trying to do the same thing that you did yesterday, because yesterday against Khadija, the knights were bouncing around and you caused chaos. So
Something
it
like that.
seemed like maybe you're also trying to use the same strategy. But yeah,
Uh,
maybe you lost a bit of time in the end. And again, we mentioned the queen being stuck can be an issue, because at the end of the day, the queen was in the way there for you to castle. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
tough one, Jesse. And then Ruben, yeah, do you have another question perhaps for Robyn?
Yes, we were very impressed with the way your pieces unraveled at some point when you just started exploiting these weaknesses on the from long castling. I think your moves were pretty much straightforward, and you found each one of them. But I think Calvin had a
More
defense.
space. I had more space in the beginning, obviously, in the center. So
Yeah.
I also felt like she was bouncing around with the knights. That's
Gave
yeah,
you
and then
some
obviously I
time.
could get my queen out as well.
Yeah. Instead of knight c4, Calvin had a defense. Was it rook d1, Calvin?
Yeah, I was thinking about the rook d1 for white instead of knights, but knight c4 was quite ingenious, blocking the dragon bishop. I thought that
Yeah.
maybe no, my idea was rook d1 after Robin played knight f4.
Uh-huh.
Instead of d4, d4 looked a bit suicidal, opening up everything.
yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
rook
yeah.
d1.
That was the end of the
Maybe rook
straw.
d1 protecting d3, but it seemed like if everything fails, maybe Robin, you could have just played king b8 to dodge the knight b6 check.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah,
And
but
then
yeah.
just one last question. The long castling, did you consider it? Like right there in the end when it's clear that you're not going to be able to defend d3?
Yeah.
Was it
No,
d3?
I considered it, but after long casting, I think there's knight b3 check, and yeah, I just didn't look past that because like king b1 and
Very
the
open.
queen swings over. I don't know
Yeah.
what happens, but
Yeah.
But
it's all
exciting
open.
game. Like really, absolutely. I think very clean attack at the end. It was quite nice to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, I mean, well done to the both of you. Again, Ruben, I'm just saying that these the type of games. If we could see this type of games in normal chess, I think we'll have a full house at the chess tournaments. So exciting stuff, ladies. Thanks for entertaining us. Tough
Thank
luck,
you so
Jesse.
much.
Well done, Robin. So yeah, we need to move on to the next match. But 2 more matches to go. Still everything to play for. Lots of prize money to play for. So have a nice rest, Jesse and Robin, and we'll see you ladies later.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Ruben, as
Bye,
well.
thanks.
Thank you very much for joining, and we'll see you next time. Cheers, cheers, guys.
Okay, bye.
Thank you.